Good morning and welcome to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams, and our focus this morning is on the importance of volunteering and mentoring. A mentor is a caring adult friend who devotes time to a young person. And although mentors can fill any number of different roles, all mentors have the same goal in common: to help young people achieve their potential and discover new strengths. My first guests are active in numerous community-based organizations, and they're well known for their hard work as municipal court judges for the city of Milwaukee. The Honorable Valarie A. Hill was elected in the April 2004 spring election to Branch 1 of the municipal court, and Judge Hill graduated from The Ohio State University and the University of Akron School of Law. The Honorable Derek C. Mosley was appointed by the Milwaukee Common Council to fill the vacancy in Branch 2 in 2002. He received his J.D. from Marquette University Law School and refers to himself as your friendly neighborhood judge. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's so good to have you both here. I don't know how I was able to get two judges out of court to appear on this show, but it is certainly a pleasure.
Our pleasure.
And I wanted to basically talk a little bit about your backgrounds. I did mention that you were brought to the bench in 1998, right?
No, I'm 2004.
2004. So from this particular scenario, you have presided over thousands of misdemeanor, felony, traffic, juvenile, and small claims cases. You served as a deputy, first assistant, senior assistant, and assistant state public defender in the Milwaukee trial office. And I need to know, where did you first know that you wanted to work in law?
Probably at the age of 12, watching television, and saw an African-American woman on television who was an attorney working for the NAACP during the Civil Rights era.
Wow.
So that was my inspiration. And I recall being in a Sunday school class one day and being asked, what do you want to be? And I said I wanted to be an attorney. And from that point forward, the Sunday school teacher called me Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Your Honor.
And it stuck, right?
And it stuck. Bernice
I love
Richardson.
That. That's awesome. And Judge Mosley, from 1995 to your appointment to the bench, you served as an assistant district attorney for Milwaukee County, where you represented the state of Wisconsin in over 1,000 criminal prosecutions. You served as the court's presiding judge from 2004 to 2012. And at the age of 31, you became the youngest African-American judge in the history of the state. Where did you realize that you had a dream of working in law?
It's funny because my story is similar to Judge Hill's. Mine was also from TV, and my whole kind of career has been a TV-oriented thing. So I saw a TV show called Law and Order, and they had a black prosecutor on there by the name of Paul Robinette.
Bump, bump.
Right. And I saw that, and I was like, you know what? I want to be a prosecutor. So I went from there, and then I saw another show called A Few Good Men with Demi Moore and Tom Cruise in the Army. They're Army lawyers. So when I was in law school, I interned with the Army as a lawyer as well. And then, sure enough, once you become a prosecutor, you want to become a judge. You've been there long enough, you want to become a judge.
The rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah.
And I love that, because really it just goes to show, especially when you're telling these stories to young people, you really can do whatever you set your mind to. And whereas we hear a lot of times people say television is so negative, but really television can be positive in many ways, as both of your stories show.
Absolutely.
So needless to say, you hold jobs that come with a tremendous amount of responsibility. And with that said, you automatically become role models for both young people and adults alike. The two of you have presented this community reading challenge, which brings you here today. And on Friday, November 20th, this challenge is going to be taking place at Thurston Woods Elementary School in Milwaukee. Judge Mosley, can you tell us how this challenge came about?
Sure. So there's a school in Milwaukee, elementary school, called Seaford Elementary School. And it was brought to my attention by a teacher there by the name of Danette Justice, who said, you know what, I read a study that there's not a lot of kids who are actually read by their fathers. That a lot of African-American males don't read to their children. So we started this at Seaford Elementary. We brought together about 150 African-American men to come in the morning, and we were all assigned, we had more than we could accommodate, so we had 6 guys to each class, and They brought their own books. Some took the books that are on the shelves, and they read to the kids from 8 to 9:30 before they went to work. And so this sparked interest in Judge Hill as well, and so we decided to continue it on.
I love that. And so, Judge Hill, let me guess, you were like, we should do that with the ladies because I know your level of competitiveness.
So what happened was we took a break in court, and I logged on to Facebook. And I didn't know where Derek had been that morning. I logged on to Facebook, and I saw all these accolades about, you know, great job at the read-in, Judge Mosley this, and there were all of a sudden all these pictures. And somebody posted that 100 and some odd men showed up for this. So I got off the bench. I walked over to his courtroom and said,
Wait a minute. You kicked my door open.
Why am I not surprised?
I said, all right, it's a community reading challenge, and I accept your challenge.
Oh, wow.
So I then came back, posted on Facebook that I was setting up this community reading challenge. That, of course, is after I contacted the principal at Thurston Woods Elementary School and set up that November 20th date. Posted on Facebook that we were going to do a community reading challenge, accepting Judge Mosley's challenge, and thought it would be a good idea, not just because it was male versus female, but an opportunity for us to read and raise our children and go and see them in school in an educational setting before they have to come see us. I mean, the process of reading to a child is an intimate process in the sense that a child is getting some attention that they may not otherwise get. This will also give them an opportunity to meet community people that they might not otherwise meet. So there are people from every profession who participate in this. And then once the community reading challenge has completed, what we will do at the end of that is talk to them about our professions and what we do and allow them to ask questions.
And I love that, and I know for sure how much that can play a role on a young person, because I remember in high school there was a DJ that I used to listen to, and he came to our career day and talked about his job, and I was so honed in on everything that he said, and I never gave up my dream at the age of 16 of being a radio personality. So it really is something that we have to kind of remind children that they really do play the author of their own lives in many instances. How well they do in school, falling in love with reading, all of those things make a difference in how far you can go.
You better believe it. Judge Hill mentioned it. You know, we had firefighters who were dressed in their full firefighter gear, police officers. I came in my robe. I mean, everybody came in the uniform that they wear to work every day, which was nice that the kids got to see that.
Oh, wow. And there's this quote that says, teach one, reach one.
Yes.
And that goes all the way back to like African proverbs, where it really is important to pinpoint the importance of teaching each and every child the things they need in order to move forward in life. So with that said, why is it so important for you guys to focus on reading in particular?
Well, I think reading, if you go back to your own childhood, reading was the one thing that could take you anywhere in the world. You know, you could be places you'd never dreamed of. You could do things you'd never dreamed of. I mean, reading has such an impact on who you are, who you become. In addition, it's the foundation for everything else you will do in life. And when they say reading is fundamental, absolutely correct.
So true. So what would one who's watching, what would they do in order to become a part of this particular challenge?
First of all, our challenge is to African American women. So meet me or beat me to Thurston Woods Elementary School, which is in the vicinity of 36th and Florist on November 20th, 8 a.m.
Okay.
Do not be late. Meet me or beat me, Thurston Woods.
Coming from the judge.
Court order.
And that's from 8 a.m. to around 9:30.
We need folks there at 8 a.m. though.
Okay, 8 a.m. And a few stats that actually pertain to reading here in the state of Wisconsin. More than 1.5 million adults qualify for literacy services, and 39% of our state read at the two lowest levels of literacy, which equates to one not being able to use a bus schedule or balance a checkbook. So so when you listen to those type of statistics, it really does drive home the point of how important it is for children to, like I said before, fall in love with reading.
Right. Absolutely. And I tell kids all the time who have a juvenile calendar. So when juveniles come in, I tell them, I don't care what you read.
Right.
You know, I don't care if it's the newspaper, if it's comic books, if it's the Source magazine. I don't care, but just read. Because the more you read, the better you get at it, the better you are understanding concepts. And so I don't care what they read, just read.
Right. And you remember before the internet, I always joke with people, I give away my age in saying this, but with the internet, look how much is really right there at your fingertips. If the internet existed when I was in college, I would have been like, I would have been at the top of the class, no doubt, because really everything you ever thought about is right there for you. So if a young person realizes, I want to be a veterinarian, well, you can read everything there is right there at home on your computer, on your phone, whatever the case. So there's really no excuse why, you know, parents shouldn't be able to motivate their children in that same way.
Right.
Exactly.
My daughter has a Nook that she's able to get books from the library that are beamed to the house. So she doesn't even have to leave the house.
And we were there in the card catalog.
Dewey Decimal System? I still don't know what that does.
Things have changed tremendously. And growing up, we all had mentors or role models. So I'm interested in knowing who were your mentors and or role models.
Actually, because I am a little bit younger than Judge Hill, Judge Hill was one of my mentors.
Really?
I remember when I came into the, and it's a funny story because I came into the DA's office and I heard about this, there was this public defender who's won like 10 straight cases in a row.
15.
15 cases in a row. And I was like, oh, okay. And so that's when I first met Judge Hill. She was, at that point, Attorney Hill, and I was impressed. You know, she knew what she was talking about. You know, she was good in trial, and I know she was sort of someone I looked up to when I was a brand new prosecutor in the office, and you know, trying to avoid her for a while because she had that reputation of being. You didn't want to mess with her in court.
Right,
you didn't want to mess with her in trial. So.
And that's in your introduction. It was actually from 1998 until your election to the bench that you served as a Milwaukee County Judicial Court Commissioner.
Correct.
And I just wanted to make sure I clarified that. So who was your mentor?
Let me clarify something. First of all, he did avoid me. He never, was kind enough to subject himself to that trial loss. But anyway, my first mentor, and I'm going to talk about my mentor as it relates to volunteering, was my mother. My mother is 75 years old this year and still to this day volunteers.
What a blessing.
She runs a program for children, primarily who are in foster care, to teach them basic life skills. She was a foster parent up until last year.
Wow.
So no better role model than one's parent.
Yeah, you got that right. That's where it starts, really.
She's going to kill me for saying she's 75, though.
Just told everybody.
Yeah.
But I'm sure she looks fabulous,
She
so that's
does.
all that matters. And I noticed in your credentials that you, Judge Hill, received the Black Law Students' highest GPA award from the University of Akron School of Law.
I did.
So that's worthy of mention. So there's a lot that you both really bring to the bench, so to speak. It goes without saying it's not just young people who will look at the two of you and say, wow, I mean, it's really impressive to see you both who you're tremendously at a young age.
Thank
and
you
you're
for
doing
that.
what you're doing. Really, it's true. It's true. And the great thing about this profession is that you guys can do this literally for the rest of your lives. You know what I mean?
As long as the people will have us, because we're elected.
Well, I do
so
forget this
as
is
long as the people will have us.
election.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What advice do you have for young people when it comes to reaching their goals?
Wow. You know what? I guess the best advice I can give is that you have to set a goal. I mean, that we kind of the question just asked, reaching your goals. The thing I see when I see juveniles in court all the time, they don't have any goals established.
Correct.
And so I guess the first thing to do is set a goal.
Yeah.
And so every juvenile that comes to my court, I say, what do you want to do when you grow up? And they look at me like I asked them the theory of life, because no one's ever asked them before, what is it that you want to do? And I just want kids to realize that, once you know what you want to do, then you probably won't see me because you're focusing on the things you have to do to get there. I mean, people will throw out stuff all the time. Kids always throw out, I want to be a pediatrician. Because it's the one profession that they see the most, right? So
Right.
I want to be a pediatrician. And then you ask the next question, how do you become a pediatrician? What do you have to do? No idea.
IDK.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And so if I can get you to not only know what you want to do, but to figure out the path to get there,
Absolutely.
it makes it so much easier.
Absolutely. And lastly, Judge Mosley, I mentioned that you graduated from Marquette Law School in 1995. You're involved with the school still in helping recruit law students of color. Why is
Correct.
that so important?
Well, it's funny that you say that because when I graduated in 1995, out of my graduating class in 1995 at Marquette Law School, there were 6 African Americans. And that was 1995. And so to me, that was unacceptable. And so from that moment on, with much of other attorneys, we started the diversity recruitment project at Marquette, where we actually call students who have applied to Marquette, students of color. We call them and say, hey, my name is Derek Mosley. I'm a judge in Milwaukee. I went to Marquette. I saw that you applied. I want to know if you had any questions in regards to the school. I'm here to answer them, whether they're questions about the school or whether it is being black in Wisconsin. Because remember, people coming from other states don't even know there's black people in Wisconsin.
I've been asked that question.
Right, all the time. And so,
Yeah.
so it's important that they know that we're here and that we're here to help them. And it's been fantastic. Our recruitment for minority recruitment now is up to it's 21% of the class. 10 years after that, and so right now it's about 26% of the class. So we're doing pretty good.
That's wonderful,
Yeah.
and you're both doing pretty good in helping people along the way and making Milwaukee a better place. Thank you both for everything you're doing, and we definitely want to remind all of our viewers the Reading Challenge is coming up on Friday, November 20th at
Correct.
Thurston Woods Elementary School. Thank you both for being
Thank you.
here.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. And of course, our municipal court judges, the Honorable Valarie A. Hill and the Honorable Derek Mosley. When we return to Our Issues Milwaukee, we'll talk more about volunteering and mentoring and how it can make a difference in our community. We'll meet the manager of corporate volunteerism for the United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County, and we'll do that right after this.